Hello everyone, this is ACIs and today we're going to start with a very short topic, Syed Ahmed Barelvi, and it is one of the very first topics of your syllabus. So Syed Ahmed Barelvi was born in 1786 in Rai Bareli, India. Now at that time Mughal Empire was in decline and simultaneously British and Sikh power was rising rapidly. Now, the political and social conditions of the Muslims during this period deeply affected and concerned him. And Sayyid Ahmed was strongly influenced by the reformist ideas of Shah Waliullah, which you might have known was previous topic from this one, which emphasizes a return to the pure Islamic teachings. So, after performing Hajj, Sayyid Ahmed became determined to purify Islam from un Islamic practices at that time and believed that things can be changed in favor of Muslims of the subcontinent. So now comes the beliefs of the Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi. First of all, he believed that Muslim had become weak due to the un-Islamic practices. He felt that the customs, superstitions, and external influences had weakened the Muslims' faith and discipline. Secondly, he believed that the Muslims needed to return to true Islam that was strictly based on Quran and Sunnah in order to regain their moral and religious strength. Thirdly, Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi believed in jihad against the non-Muslim rule, particularly where Muslims were oppressed and unable to practice Islam freely. He viewed jihad as a mean to protect Muslim rights and dignity. Fourthly, he strongly emphasized Muslim unity. He believed that without unity and collective efforts, Muslims would remain politically and socially weak. His ultimate aim was to establish a Muslim state based on Sharia, where laws would be governed according to the Islamic principle and justice would prevail. Okay, now comes the work of Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi. To put his beliefs into actions, basically, he launched jihad movement. He traveled widely across the subcontinent to spread his message and gather the followers, encouraging Muslims to unite and reform a religious practices. He then moved to the northwest provinces as it was closer to the Sikh controlled areas and strategically important. So the large number of followers joined him, used to call them Mujahideens, and he set up his headquarters at Peshawar and later at Balakot. Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi and his followers fought against the Sikh forces led by the Ranjit Singh, who ruled Punjab at that time. The aim of these battles was to end the non Muslim rule and protect Muslim religious and political rights. However, the movement faced serious problems, especially tribal disunity and lack of cooperation among the local Pashtun tribes. Due to the internal opposition and betrayal that weakened the jihad movement itself, and in 1831, during the Battle of Balakot, Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi was martyred. Sayyid Ahmed Barel, in 1831, during the Battle of Balakot, Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi was murdered while fighting the Sikh forces, bringing the movement to an end. Now comes the influence of Syed Ahmed Barelvi. So basically, Syed Ahmed Barelvi inspired the future reformers and freedom movements. His struggle basically encouraged the upcoming leaders to think about religious revival and Muslims' right in the subcontinent. Secondly, he kept alive the idea of distinct Islamic identity at that time when Muslims were politically weak and socially discouraged. His movement reminded Muslims of their separate religion and culture identity. Thirdly, he set an example of organized Muslim resistance. His jihad movement showed that Muslims could unite under leadership and work collectively for a common cause. Fourthly, his idea and methods influenced other Muslim leaders who later adopted similar approaches to his reforms. And finally, his movement contributed to the roots of Pakistan movement by developing Muslim community consciousness and reforming the idea that Muslims needed a system where they could live according to the Islamic principles.